Hey, look, it's Roslynn back at you one more again. I hope everybody is doing blessed. I'm doing blessed and highly favored and definitely hope the same for you. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my growing extended family, thank you so much for the love and support that y'all are constantly giving me. You know, our soul family is really expanding at a very rapid rate. So I do appreciate that. So with that being said, much love to all. Namaste, love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you've been watching my videos for a while and have not already, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know I'm about to upload my next video. Also, if you're comfortable enough, drop a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me, even if it's about the positive feedback to the content of the video or you tell me about your empathic gift. If you feel like the videos are uplifting and give you good vibes, you would love to share with a loved one, family, or a friend, or even a fellow empath that may be going through trying times at the moment, need confirmation, validation towards life path, or even soul purposes, please go ahead and share. While you're at it, give your girl a thumbs up, like, and also share on social media favorites wherever you see fit. As always, thank you so much for the love and support. It's appreciated, and I hope you're able to resonate with the content in my video. And this video is about Twin Flame 101. Heyokas, life is not a problem to be solved, but it's a reality to be experienced. I think I seen that post somewhere, and I was like, "Ooh, that hits deep," And I wanted to be able to make some content about that. A lot of times, we're in certain situations in our lives, or we're connected to certain people, where we feel like we're having to heal somebody, or we're supposed to guide them towards this situation and guide us towards that, and is at times we have to realize everybody that's coming and going out of our lives, or even try to connect, is not something that we're always supposed to solve, or trying to heal things. We only can have control on healing ourselves. We can place that seed to nurture for them. You drop that seed and you let them know, hey, this is your responsibility to be able to do that. You can give that person insight, but you can't force, you can guide a horse towards the water, but you can't force them to drink it. And those are the things they really want you to be able to prepare yourself for. But it's those things where you always feel like you have to solve things, because a lot of times it's like our lives are always instill subliminal messages, and sometimes it's just like, what do we have to let go of? What do we have to heal? What we need to change on the situation? When a lot of times we're in these situations to be able to see how it's going to change us in a positive way. You could either go any way. Everybody got choices, but the choices always have consequences. You can have a good one and can be a hella bad one at the same time. And those are the things you have to be very cautious about what you look at. It took a long time for me to be able to see different things in my life that was very, therapeutic. Even when it was like negative or positive, it was always something that I had to learn about myself, learn about what I choose to entertain, choose to be blind to, choose to allow myself to ignore certain situations that I really had to take heed of within myself, understanding different things. Because it's like the more you're going through your healing and being open towards universe to allow different things to come in to help you in those ways, you'll start seeing things in different ways. It's like on your spiritual journey, you already know you're going to go through many stages and levels of spiritual awakenings with Kundalini, ascension, dark night of the soul. I mean, you go through so many different shifts. People be coming up, text me like, Roslynn, how many times do I have to go through this? I'm like, girl, look, or fam, look. I don't know nothing about that. It's just whenever God knows that you are on that level of everything, that you're aligned with everything on your path that he's guiding you to, he's giving that spotlight to, and those are the things that are being created for those situations. So it's not always a problem, but these are certain things you had to experience through your own reality. There's a lot of times that we got stuck in the matrix. There's a lot of times where we can look at other people's lives and want that type of life. There's always different times, where you're looking like that. They're so lucky. They're so fortunate. You have to understand, especially if you're on social media, a lot of things people want you to see a certain way when it's totally opposite. There's different things that, they'll always bring out positivity and not really, allow the negative to be seen. With my situation, even though I hate doing it that way, universe wants me to be able to allow people to see different stages of me, different sides of me. There's times where, people have been with me for a while, you will see when I was upset, or you felt or see when I was having a heavy heart at that time, going through different things in my life, allowing myself to be vulnerable, and stuff like that I didn't like, because I've seen a lot of different things where it's not placing judgment for people, because everybody got their choice on what they make. It's just having an opinion. There's a lot of different things that's happened where people do a lot of different things for views, likes, and subscribers. People even buy subscribers if you need to. I'm just like, man, I ain't trying to do all that. I feel like if you're subscribing to me, it may take me a little bit longer, but at least I can say it's not from something I manipulated or had to force something to get something back. It was off of me and my gifts, my talent, my insight or whatever. And I'm okay with that, and a lot of times it takes a little bit longer than you actually expected. There's a lot of different things that you may have had planned out in your life, and it really doesn't go in the direction that you want to, or even at the pace. And sometimes that can be very annoying and irritating. You want to side eye God and universe, like, why is this doing this? And a lot of times it's like, they're looking at you like, why are you in a hurry for? And I was like, if y'all tell me that one more time, you ain't the one dealing with all this. You assisting me, you're guiding me, but I'm the one who's going through this. So don't ask me why I'm in a hurry, because you see what I go through. But then it's just like, you'll understand, you're trying to speed up a process on something that you had to allow yourself to go through at a certain pace. And a lot of times it can rub us the wrong way because you're ready for it. You're the type of person that don't have patience. Universe and God going to place you in a situation where you have no choice but to have patience. If you don't have faith, you get in situations where, faith is something you have to just believe in. Faith and fear is the same thing, but it got two different meanings. It's both of things that you create through the thought of your process, through psychosis, through, psychological events that's taking place. It's all about where your mind chooses to go. And you're doing that. I've seen a lot of different things in my mind where it's like, dang, why didn't I learn this before? You had to go through these certain stages to be able to understand. Stop trying to solve everything. Let this situation change you. A lot of times we wonder what we got to do, subliminal. I'm like that with anything. It's like if a certain movie is taking my interest, I always sit up here and look and see, why was it guided to me? What is the subliminal message for that? I put a post up here, memes, the other day, and it had like the Simpsons, and the dude was sitting here like that with the third eye. And it's like, you're just looking, you're not watching movie. I tend to do that, and it's just a lot of times, like I tell, our interests, our talents, all those different things, that is, they want you to be able to understand about yourself. So you're going through different levels of learning about yourself, different things you're learning about within your life, your path, as well as other people, the choices you make, the mistakes you have, the issues you have, the negative, what you hold on to, and negative as well as the positive. And those are the things that creates that experience for reality, because it's like everybody is chosen to make a statement through their transition. You were chosen to be that one, because it's like, the world is it can impact us in a negative way as well as the positive. There's always a balance out for everything that's taking place in the world. And we were all chosen to make a statement through our experience. There's so many different things that happen in the world where it can emotionally, mentally, whatever, it can tear you down, and it can be the same thing that can build you right back up. And there's a lot of different things that can take place in your life where you were that one chosen for a very harsh shortcoming into your life, something very traumatic. There are some people that are on this vibration or on this journey, and they don't have stuff like that. And I say it's a good blessing that you have. I can't relate to that, but it's a blessing to be able to have that in that way. But I don't know how that, that goes on, how you do different things, because there's a few people I've connected with here on this platform that said, Roslynn, I never went through certain things tragic. I never lost anybody. Everything that I got through my life, it was very supportive, and it was very nurtured. And that's a good thing. And, I commend different people for that. I won't look at them sideways or nothing like that. That's a blessing to be able to have people in your life that's very supportive of you. If there are different times you may have doubted yourself, you have people in your corner that uplifts you. And, but there's also the people that have gone through different things. I see a lot of people there's a lot of people that's losing people left and right now, and that is a pain that it doesn't have a certain limitation. I always tell people, nobody can't tell you when that expiration date of you grieving can stop. It's up to you. I mean, it's like my mom, she passed away in 2005, and there's a lot of different things that take place in my life that may reflect something that I can see somebody else going through, and it will hit me right like it happened yesterday, and it's just like, it was a situation where I found this lady up on Instagram, and just seeing, her mom is like, she's going through different health transitions and struggles from, the pandemic that a lot of people are suffering from. Is a very painful situation to go through, a very stressful situation, because there's some people that are able to bounce right back, and there's some other people that are declining because of these different things. And just being able to see her go through something like that, it took me right back to that point. Because any kind of way, when I think about my mom going through that, I always make sure I just look at the positive on that, with me taking care of my mom, wanting to lift her up. I was giving my mom massages, singing to her, reading the Bible to her. And she I don't read the Bible, but I did those things to take her mind off of what she was going through. And I had to stay strong for her like that. Anytime I went through like a grief process, I would never allow my mom to see me go through that. And I wouldn't allow people to be around her like, hey, if you got to cry, you feel like it's going to shift you like that, don't do that in front of her, because she had so many different things that's going on. So when I saw that, my heart hit deep for her. And, and I gave her, that I even shared her video, on my IG account. And, I'm like, say prayers for her. Anybody who's going through that struggle of where you're having to take care of a parent, it takes a lot out of you. When you're doing that, you're trying to be strong for them. You're trying to keep your hopes up, but you don't know what God's plan is for that person. So there's so many different things that goes on in our lives where universe has guided us to go through something traumatic, and it can come out a blessing in some kind of way. And a lot of times it's like, how you gonna say that? And I mean, that's how God works. We can't question his motives. We can't question his decisions on why he let certain things happen the way it does. But it's just like if somebody has lost their life in some kind of way, and say, the parents decide to say, what, they want to be a donor for that person. And a lot of times people have gone through that life, and even when it is called short like that, that person has lived through their experience. They have impacted people along the way. Now that soul contract is up. So that person, transitions, but now the blessing for them taking place with other people, blessing them in some kind of way that was tragic to one person becomes a blessing to another one. So it always holds that balance in some kind of way that, if it's nurturing towards you on that, that's the reason why it took place in the way it did. And it's just like so many different things. I used to get really angry around the time my mom passed away, because it was so much that I had to deal with, certain things that was going on. If I wasn't stressed out about my girls because they were so young, and I was like 26, 27. So anything that happened in those type of situations, it was always my mom and her ex-husband that dealt with stuff like that. I never had to deal with stuff like that. So me being that person that had to make decisions and was stressed about that, because I didn't know what decision was going to, decrease my mom's chance on living or, uplift her. And so it was just like my mind was in so many different ways, and just seeing my mom go through that, it was just like, I've been through a lot of tragic things in my life. And those were one of those things that really shook me. But it was like, thank God I didn't allow myself to keep allowing me to pay attention to all the negative things happening into my life, but allow myself to appreciate that my mom took care of me. And then when it came back around, I was that one that took care of her, and I always want to keep thinking of her like that. Like I have her perfume here. My boss, one of my old bosses, knew I was still struggling when I moved down here from the South, because I moved away a lot from a lot of things, because it's like where I was living at before. I can go to different places and say, oh, this used to be my mom's house. Oh, this used to be, where we used to go walking at. And I moved here to the South and I didn't have anything, and lost two of my best friends, like within 6 months apart, right when I first moved to the South. And still to this day, I haven't really grieved off anything. But just since God allowed me to have that gift to where I can connect with people that have transitioned, I speak to them a lot in that way. And they've helped me through so much. And it's just like we are always so quick to always find an answer towards everything that we connect with in that way, and not really understanding that answer is within us. You had to go through a certain period of your life. You had to go through a certain mile, or you're going through that salvation, redemption, and those different things on that's taking place. They're making you make better choices in your life. If you are so quick to do things based off of how you were impacted by certain situations, a lot of times that wasn't good. So you had to go through things where they're telling you to choose wisely, think wisely. Don't be so impulsive on making a choice that can be very detrimental to you in your life. It can really add more pain to your life than it is going to bring, promises. So they're always trying to tell you these are the realities you had to experience. You are on that voyage of being an inspiration that can keep inspiring other people. And that's a quote I always use towards people. You may feel like I don't have really anything that going on in my life that can really impact different people in that way. And you really don't know. You really just don't know. I used to try to always find, like, where is my purpose? I'm just trying to find this out. I can't deal, what's going on. And then when I've gone through the grief that I went through, and there was truth was exposed to me in a very hurtful way. Nobody should ever find out truth like that the way I did, but I did, and I mean, those are the things that I still struggle with from time to time, and I have to allow myself to make peace with it, and just one day I'll be at that point where I can see the blessing within that tragedy that I've been dealing with. I don't like to use that word cope. I don't. People I said, no, I'm that person that you need to deal. Because cope is just like putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg. That mess is just not going to work. When you deal with it, because it's like coping is just like, okay, this happened to you, and you trying to go around it on how you deal with it. But no, it's just those times there are certain things in your life you can't just, walk around. These are certain things in your life. You have to address it. Then you have to accept it. And then you have to heal from those different things. Everything has a reason for happening the way it does. And sometimes you'll find out instantly why it had to happen like that. And sometimes it takes you a minute to actually get that clarity. Clarity is there, but universe sometimes is like it takes time for those certain things to appear to you the way it is. You had to be able to experience the ups. You had to go experience the hardships to get towards the promise of a lot of blessings. You had to struggle for you to be able to achieve something else. You had to go through the darkness to embrace your light. Because a lot of times it's very uncomfortable for us to be able to we want to pay more attention to the light side of us, the good, the gracious, whatever is positive on that side. But you want to, you want to walk on eggshells around the negative, and it's just like you can't do that. You have to be able to understand why that darkness was placed in your life, or what you can bring, what kind of light can you bring to that darkness. We are all placed in darkness. You're like that seed that had to be nurtured. You had to have water. You had to have fertilizer. You had to be able to talk to it, so it can get to that point of blooming. And that's what it's doing on those situations. It's like, so there's always a reason for everything taking place in your life. It's just up to you to be able to find it, and if it's not that time. I see a lot of different things that's happened in my life where I still don't have an answer to different things. I don't have closure on different things. And a lot of times we leave that window of opportunity or that door of opportunity open for a closure. And it's just like that, distracting you, right? If you're going to get clarity, it's not going to always come when you want that, but a lot of times it's like you have to be able to accept the things that is taking place, whether if it's a negative or it's a positive, and just allow yourself to just be, a lot of times that is like the biggest, enemy as well as distraction in your life. When you're wanting to hear apology, you're wanting to hear the truth, are you wanting to find closure in certain relationships, is where that the closure was when y'all disconnected. That was that closure. A lot of times it's not even meant for you to even venture out that way, but it's just for you to go in a different way. It's already made its point in your life. It's already made that mark in your life, and those are the things you had to keep carrying on and going ahead and dealing with. So while you're on these different things, allow yourself to understand everything does not need you to solve that. There are certain things you just had to be able to embrace, had to openly allow yourself to accept that, and see what changes that needs to be in your pace, in your frequency, and the vibes that you carry that needs to change a different direction, or allow you to, do some kind of, transition between that. You had to be able to experience that reality of what you're being guided towards, because that's what holds the truth. And through that transition and through the healing, even through the acceptance, you're allowing yourself to be open to endless possibilities of whatever universe is wanting to connect with you in that manner. So I hope you were able to resonate with the content of this video, y'all. I will be having what time is it? It's almost 15 minutes. So I will be having a Heyoka live chat in 15 minutes, just to have different discussions about, different things they may be experiencing, as well as this full moon of Aries. Like, Lord Jesus, take the wheel. So I hope to be able to connect with you there. I would love to give a post notification shout out to Jennifer Cheney, Genocide Flow Artist, Just Jen, and Wildflower Storm. Much love to you. Miranda Peters, Sonia J, and Katrina Marie. Rainwater, much love to you as well. Like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Always leave my contact information in the description box below. It's just all about spiritual networking, or if there's certain advice you may need, or certain things you want to share with me and just want my input on it, or just guidance. I try my best to be able to do that, either from experience or from what, universe gives me, or just from information to give you a deeper understanding about your path of purpose. Whatever we speak on is confidential. I'll try to help out the best way I can. I'll also leave my link to my podcast as well that comes from Spotify, that I do about Heyokas and different things that I do here, put in podcasts as well. So whatever you're manifesting on to try to bring into your life, I hope it comes a gazillion times bigger and better than you ever expected. It comes sooner than you ever predicted it. And even through social distancing, make sure that you can give out love, light, positivity, words, vibes, and frequencies. You never know. All those things can really take somebody a long way. And I hope you're being positive and responsible at every single thing you do. And knowing whatever you're dealing with right now, that keeps your mind occupied and your heart heavy, is always going to lead you towards bigger and better. So you'll see me on my next video. Much love and peace. Bye.